Hey there, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. This one is a little bit overdue. As usual, once I get to the end of the week, everything starts to slip. And we're going to feed our sweet tooth. So you think I would have pushed on for this one, but the savoury tooth's been winning at the moment. This one is called Caramel and Chocolate Flan. It's a simple, what they call a no-bake dessert. No-bake meaning we don't need to cook it in the oven. We're just warming things up and melting things. So come on in. I'm going to show you what we need. First of all, you're going to need a small saucepan and something that will fit on top of it. Now, the reason why I'm doing it this way is we're going to make the caramel in the saucepan. Then when we melt the chocolate, we're going to put it over the top so you can actually be washing up the pan, so to speak, while the chocolate's melting. But we'll do that later. That's down the track. Also, a metal spoon, because you do not put plastic or wood in with the chocolate. A little bit of moisture and it can seize it, and you don't want to be throwing out your chocolate. All right, so that's what we need. We also need a plate to put our flan case on. So I'm just going to set those aside while I go through the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so 160 mils of sweetened condensed milk. Now that is about half a tin. The rest of it has gone in a coffee. It's really sweet and it's really good because I need my caffeine at the moment. 1 tablespoon of golden syrup. 20 grams of butter. 150 gram Woolworths flan case. Now these ones are not in the freezer section. They're down the aisle where you buy your bread and your lamingtons and all that good stuff. That's it there. Easy. Comes in a little silver tray. And you can just pop that straight into there and no one will know that you didn't make it. Except you, of course. 100 grams of dark chocolate. If you go into Aldi, these ones here, the dark chocolate, it's real easy. You get 1 for yourself and 4 for your dessert. So that's a bargain, that is. That's the dark chocolate. 1.5 tablespoons of thick cream. I will measure that out when I need it. And finally, this is a Easter recipe. Caramel-filled Easter eggs to top. Well, it's not Easter. It's banging on the end of winter. So the Easter bunny's nowhere to be found. So I've substituted it with chocolate that's got caramel in it. So you can get some caramel lollies or something. It's just to go on the top. So I'm not going to wait till Easter to make something that sounds like basically like a big caramel slice in a tart form. So anyway, now that you know what we need, we're going to get going. Let's go. Okay, I just said a swear word. Lucky I said it off camera. Normally I read through my recipe and write things in, and one of my pet hates lately is water doesn't get written down as an ingredient, nor does salt. We have to add a pinch of salt as well. It's going to taste like salted caramel, right? So not too much caramel. All right. So into this small saucepan, we want our sweetened condensed milk. This is a sticky mess. Guide it out with a spoon. And I actually had to read the recipe to write the ingredients because it didn't have the usual ingredients list. So that's me as well, hurrying when I'm trying to do this. Also in here, we're doing a tablespoon of golden syrup. I'm glad I finally opened a new golden syrup. lots of sugar. All right, put all those in there. And then we also need the butter, which is the 20 grams. And our pinch of salt, which I have not wrote down for you, and I apologise. That's a big pinch of salt. All right, over a very low heat on the stove. Let's go. Okay, so with my stove top, I've got to start it up high, crank it up. Once it starts to bubble, then I can turn it down. Just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to use a metal spoon for this as well. So we'll just wait for it to start to do that, and then we'll get going. Okay, so when it's starting to look like it's melting, you just got to keep stirring it. I'll tell you exactly how long you're going to be doing that for. Just bear with me. Until golden and the caramel thickens. So don't be tempted to turn it up. So it will go a more caramelly colour. So as you can see right now, it looks like the colour of custard. Caramel is more of a light brown colour. So just persevere with it. And it will go nice and thick. See, right now it's not very thick. Okay, so when it looks like this, it's ready to go. So let's go over to the other side of the kitchen and we'll assemble this part. Okay, so pour this into the flan case. Beautiful. Use the back of the spoon and just flatten it. All right. So set that aside to cool. And it'll start to set while we get the chocolate going. So we've put our 100 grams of dark chocolate and our 1.5 tablespoons of cream into this bowl. And we're going to get some water into here, because the reason why I'm saying to use this one is this one sits perfectly on that and it will simmer and melt. So I'll just get this organised and I'll be back. Okay, so not too much water, maybe about a quarter. We're going to go pop this back on where we took that one off, the same hot plate, because it'll still be warm. This sits on top and we just need to melt it. So let's go. Okay, so you want it tight fitting so that it's not going to get any steam come up into it. And as I said, you want your metal spoon. So we just got to wait for this to melt, and then we can tip it over the top. Okay, so when it's all melted, it's going to be a bit thick, but bring it over and we're going to put it on top. Okay, so try and drizzle it over the top if you can, but we are going to smooth it anyway. If you sort of try and spread it, it will be easier. Sorry, dollop it. It will be easier to spread. That was what I meant. I knew that. Now then it says to leave it for an hour, but I don't really think you need to leave it for an hour, because if you've ever left chocolate, it tends to set pretty quickly when you don't want it to. So I don't know why there should be an exception with this one. All right. There we go. Now grab the back of the spoon, flip it over I should say, and just spread that chocolate. That's it. Beautiful. Try and keep it within the case if you can. It'll look much nicer. There we go. Okay, now we leave it for an hour and then we're going to decorate it with the Easter eggs. But in my case, I'm not using the Easter eggs, I'm using the caramel chocolate. So what I'm going to do is I'll actually just start and do it now. If you've got time, leave it, otherwise we'll do it this way. Okay. So these are obviously just squares of chocolate. So when you decorate it, I would decorate it so that everyone basically gets a piece. One more lot. All right, so refrigerate it. I'd give it about an hour at least before you try and cut it up. All right. Thank you for watching this episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. This has been caramel and chocolate flan. I hope you enjoy this one, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Don't forget, if you never want to miss a moment, because you never know when an episode will drop, hit the subscribe button, and then you'll know when the next episode drops. Catch you next time. Bye!